I think I glitched out on all of this. There, look. Euphoria, we got your message. I'm sorry. We glitched out on everything. And I screwed up the dates left, right, and center. So I'm sorry. Can you pass that notepad? Can you reach?
Again.
What a day. What a week.
Huge week.
So we have guests coming on board in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And the funny part is with Blaine and I is we work really good under pressure. So we had Krista's wedding on here like 2 years ago, where we got the boat and we were destroyed a day before the wedding, and we kind of pull everything together. And I really don't
gotten
know.
as much done quickly unless we're under pressure.
So we're under pressure now, and Blaine has decided that we're going to get the railings up on the aft deck. You know, it's only been a year.
Over a year.
Over a year.
Yeah, it would have been March. We pulled them up when we were in the
Yeah.
boatyard. Yeah,
Mhm.
So it's been a long time. And we definitely missed them.
Yeah. So let's chat about some questions that we've had. First of all, our lightning video. So Bruce, from last time we went live. Hi, Bruce.
We're a bit early, by the way.
Oh, are we a bit early?
Yeah, you might want to just
do what? Tell jokes?
I don't know.
All my jokes are bad.
Yeah, true.
I don't know what time. I got 5:59.
A minute away.
Okay, tell a story.
I've been welding all day.
Yes.
And my brain is fried.
Yes, and the funny part is with the welding, we've had to put tarps up. And you guys know how much we hate tarps.
Yes. And the beauty of this, and I love this, I laugh every time I do it. So we don't have an AC generator on board. We only have the DC generator, which we haven't been using. I did run it a little bit today, just we had a couple of cloudy days, so I just bringing the batteries up a little bit. But we're welding basically on solar. So we've got I charge up the batteries on the boat, and I'm purely welding off the battery bank on the boat. And it's I'll weld for like an entire day, and we may lose 5% battery when the sun's shining. I always kind of laugh because it's just there's so many power conversions happening to do the welding.
It's free welding.
It's free welding.
Except for the thousands of dollars we spent in our system, but it's free welding.
And the filler rod.
Yeah. Okay, so are we live now? I have 1,800 hours on my computer.
Good to go.
Okay, so we can see the comments. If you are connecting through Patreon, people are having troubles watching it through there. However, pop into the YouTube live and you can see the comments there. I'm sorry if I scheduled this all wrong over the last week. Seriously, it's been a bit of a cluster F this week. So my scheduling was all awry.
A tasty cluster of nuggets and
yeah, it was a bit of a mess. And I look a mess because it's hot out here, and the way I work is I help Blaine, and then I get really hot and I jump overboard. I don't think it helps going through menopause too. I think I'm like hot flashes and we jump, and we keep looking out the window because there's so many boats passing us right now.
I don't jump overboard because in Brentwood Bay here in the summertime, you get like these times where you get this really nasty, scummy stuff that'll come into the bay. Janice doesn't care. She'll jump right into it. I can't do it. Nope.
I just want the cold water. No. So let's talk about what we're drinking today before we head out. Okay. Head on. So during our happy hour, we found a new drink. This is Straight and Narrow, and I'll link them. It's all backwards. Anyways, these are lovely gin drinks, and this is a pear rhubarb gin cocktail made in Sydney, British Columbia. Local. Love them.
I'm drinking a Tiger Shark citrus IPA. This is Phillips Brewing. I can't. They're local. They're local as well, and quite a tasty beer. These were given to me by Evan on Takuli. We did some welding for him on his rails, and that was a bit of a thank you. So, thank you, Evan.
Free beer.
We're enjoying it.
Mine were not free. Blaine gets all the glory as a welder, and I think I talked about that in Facebook.
Because that's the skill.
I'm the welder bitch who is holding everything underneath, like the copper plates and weird little corners. So
you have to do the pedal today. So
I did the pedal today. Okay, let's talk.
All right.
Lightning video. I liked our lightning video.
It was fun.
I did. So last live, Bruce Brown with Walking with Bruce. He's got a pretty cool. He goes for walks around local. He asked us what happens on an aluminum boat if you get hit by lightning. And we answered it. And then Spark Museum actually clarified some of the information they gave us. So check that out. I thought it was really cool. And Spark Museum, thank you, in Bellingham, thank you so much for answering our question and for helping us make the video.
And honestly, if you're ever there, that is a fantastic museum. I geeked out a bit in there. It's about
a little bit. You geeked out totally.
The whole history of electricity. And honestly, at the end of it, they have a really fantastic show. I've done the Boston Science Museum show, which was similar. I have to say the showmanship at this one was better. The guys were great. It was funny. It was entertaining. Definitely go and do it if you're going to be in town. Spark
Museum. I'll put it in here, of electricity in Bellingham, Washington. What was really cool about it too is we got to go into a Faraday cage.
Yeah.
Which was
big bird cage.
Scary and loud and really cool at the same time.
They don't let you do that at the Boston Science Museum.
No, you actually put your hand up and the lightning was hitting right there. I could feel the tingle. Blaine couldn't, but it was like, yeah, it was a big hurricane.
It was pretty wild. I mean, when you've got bolts of electricity this big around striking right at where your hand is, it's pretty wild.
But it was a fun video to make. So thank you, Spark Museum. We really appreciate it. What happened in the yard? So we put out last week our yard video and we leaked a lot.
We did.
So what did we learn from that?
It was not so much a learn per se. It was, I should have gone with my gut. I mean, I've done tons of through holes over the years and never had an issue. And I always use 3M 5200 fast cure. And once you get it on, it will typically cure in the water as well. We were in a bit of a rush. I couldn't get 5200 quickly in the fast cure. So we ended up getting the slow cure, which seems to be a bit more watery than the fast cure. And also, it doesn't cure as fast. And we put it on not very long before we were starting to splash. So didn't have any time to cure. And it basically just, the water pushed the 5200 out of the way and we got leaks on 3 out of 4 through holes that I had just put in.
And when I say in the video that Blaine was probably inside swearing, he was.
Yes.
Yep.
There were many an F-bomb.
One person on that YouTube video made a comment, which again, we really appreciate your comments, people. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm as we answer every one of them. But he made a comment that happened to him too. 3 out of 4 through holes. He used the slow cure or the regular cure 5200, which is like super adhesive.
It's like 7 days to cure on that stuff.
Yeah. So Oh, hi, Katya and Christian. But yeah, it was just weird that it happened. So that was what we learned at the yard. However, I just launched part 2 of that and we kind of made the most of it.
Yeah. So if you ever in the yard, you're doing through holes, fast cure and give it as much time as possible. We were just in a bit too much of a rush and mistakes were made.
Yeah. And part 2, you know what? We made the most of it. We ended up in the yard for the weekend.
We did. And we did some more grinding of paint in certain areas and getting more off. So it worked out pretty well.
And we met some lovely people.
We did.
And we learned that Maggie can jump off the boat
from 9 distances and not hurt herself.
Yeah. So it was good. I'm glad we got lots done and we're back floating. And again, that was a month and a half ago. That's about how far behind we are right now, which is good for footage. It gives me a buffer zone in case something happens because we do all our own editing and everything. So again, if you're watching the YouTube videos, comment it. We love it. Give us our feedback. And I think I actually asked
any questions
in last video. I actually asked in last video for any feedback because we're trying a new format, a big bit narrative.
And when we say we, Janis.
I am.
Yeah. Janis.
What do you mean? You helped in this one.
You
helped with the intro.
I take videos. I don't do much for editing. Janis does the editing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what are you doing right now on the boat?
Right now, I am installing rails on the aft deck. So we've done away with a big, thick wooden rail that sat underneath the cap rail. and I'm making aluminum posts that attach from the deck to the rail. So we'll have an air gap between the deck and the rail, and won't have anywhere for water to sit. Because what we had was, the wood rotted from having water underneath it and probably never been rebedded ever since the boat was built. And the aluminum suffered pretty heavily as well. So this whole weekend has consisted of welding up holes in the deck from the old rail, the bolt holes, corrosion holes, whatnot, and welding on the new stanchions for the lower cap rail.
Well, that's what you were doing.
That's what I'm doing.
I was trying to make the boat a home. I had it all going last week. I had new pictures are up and everything like that. And then Blaine destroyed it 2 days before his parents are arriving.
So this is kind of funny because my parents are arriving. We decided to clean the boat. Janice went crazy all day long. I was at work. I came back. I
put new hardware in. I put pictures up. I painted the rooms. Yep. Like everything's looking really nice.
And it was clean and tidy. Our room was clean.
Yep.
And then I had to do the welding this weekend. So when I do the welding, all the insulation panels have to come down. All the ceiling panels in our room and the insulation panels have to come down. So there's everywhere.
Absolute destruction right now in the boat.
Yeah.
Your parents are going to come aboard and we're going to say, welcome to work.
They're going to have to stay in the suite at the house for the first little bit.
No, someone's in there.
Oh, no.
The good thing is with his parents, they're used to working on boats, so they can work. But that might be a rude awakening on their vacation to maybe do some work.
It could.
So, yeah. Fine. But anyways, we've been doing lots of stuff on the boat, and it's just the little things that are adding up. Like putting a hook on the door that we've been wanting to do all the time. Affixing the fridge, right? So
I've lost count of how many times Janice has asked me to mount her beer can crusher.
He still hasn't done it, but I really want the can crusher to be mounted. Maybe you can do it tonight. You can weld it to the wall.
I'm going to be welding until probably 9 o'clock again tonight.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's the thing with welding is once he has the welder out here away from his fabrication shop, we have to weld as much as possible.
Yeah, because the welder's got to go back tomorrow, so I've got to get stuff done.
Yeah. Look at what Katya and Christian say. Maybe we can interview you guys sometime on our channel and show. Yeah, we love talking.
Yeah.
You can tell. Not a problem. We would love it. Okay. That's what we're doing right now. Summer plans, though.
Well,
am I saying this?
No, my parents are coming in Wednesday.
They keep changing. Wednesday night. They have never seen the boat.
No. So we used to try to see them at least yearly because they live in Tennessee. We're in BC. It's challenging, and with the kids and everything, it's always been challenging. But with COVID, things kind of drug on a little longer. We have seen them somewhat recently. We went to Boston to visit my brother as well. But we've had the boat for 2 years now, over 2 years, and they've never seen it. They've never been on board. So they're driving across. They came up from Tennessee. They're dropping their camper in Washington, and they'll be on the ferry on Wednesday.
Yes, it's going to be so cool.
We're going to have them on board. We're leaving Saturday morning, and we're going to make our way up to Princess Louisa Sound.
Yeah, so what I do is I do a plan. Hold on. I'll show you See, I have a calendar here, and can I take it up? I ripped the calendar. Shoot.
She's going to have to redo the calendar.
Oh, it was all highlighted and everything. I should not rush these things. Oh, I'm sad now. Anyways, this is my calendar on our trip, and I highlight the food, and we make a whole plan. But I'm so sad.
So my parents used to work with us on charter boats back in the day, and we tossed around the idea of sending them a preference sheet, like a charter preference sheet for when they're on board. But that didn't happen.
No.
My dad's easy, meat and potatoes.
Yeah, he doesn't eat vegetables. But we aren't leaving until Saturday because we have Deuce Days in Victoria. Yeah,
big car show happens once every 2 or 3 years.
Oh, it depends on COVID.
It hasn't happened in a long time, where it's all the 30s Deuce coupes come into town.
Little Deuce coupe.
And there are.
You don't know. That's a song.
Usually there are hundreds of them. So it's my dad's coming up for that. He's a car guy as well. So show him around.
So we're going to go see Deuce Days. We're going to do a shopping and provision the boat. and then we are heading out on Saturday morning because you're never allowed to leave on a big trip on a Friday. Extremely bad luck on a boat.
I didn't know that.
You're also not allowed to have women on board or bananas. We screwed those both up.
I can totally understand the women part.
You're such a poop. But yeah, we're heading to Chemainus, then Newcastle Island, which is going to be some cool part. We're going to do some awesome videoing, which I'm excited about. Get the drone going. Hornby Island, Nelson Island, and then we're going up to Princess Louisa, which is probably one of our favorite places here.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah. It's definitely a must-do at some point.
And we'll be up there for 4 days.
Yeah, we've gone. I've been up there 3 times. Janis has been up there. Or sorry, this will be my 3rd time going up there. Janis has been up there once, so it's.
I absolutely love it.
It's pretty amazing.
And the rapids to go through is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to head up there, and then we're on our way back. We're going to go Pender Harbor, which is on the mainland, which I haven't been to.
Haven't either.
Gibson's to go. These guys haven't seen the Beachcombers and go to Molly's Reach for lunch.
Nope.
Thetis Island, Sydney Spit. You haven't watched the Beachcombers?
I've never watched the Beachcombers.
We might have to download some Beachcombers before heading out. Thetis Island, Sydney Spit, and then back to Brentwood. And his parents are heading out, and we have 1, 2, 3 days, not even 2 days. And we got
like Caribbean chartering.
I know we got new guests coming aboard, so we have to flip the boat. And then my old roommate from military college. So I went to Railroads Military College in 1990, and my roommate Marianne and her husband that she met back then are coming on board. And we're ditching Izzy too. Izzy's getting off.
Yeah.
So she's going to stay on land for the week, and then we are heading to the States, which we've never done the San Juans.
No, on our own time, no.
Well, last time we did the San Juans, I was on a super yacht. I was a Canadian. Well, still I'm a Canadian. And the yacht was registered in the States. And I was working as first mate. I'd been on that boat for 2 years. The chef was Scottish, and everybody else had American on the boat. So there was 6 crew. So Scottish and Canadian, we were on board, and we went into Friday Harbor, and they kicked us off. They said, and we had charter on too. And they said, you're not allowed to be here. You're not allowed to work on the boat because you don't have a green card. And being that it's American flag, it's a little piece of the United States floating around the world, and we needed a green card to work on there. So after 2 years of working on the boat, they sent us back. And during mid-charter, they got rid of the first mate, which is really no big thing. They can go through a charter without me. But the chef got kicked off. That was not good.
Yeah. That was that did not make for good times.
No. So that was that was my second red flag on my passport for illegally working in the States. But that was a different story.
I don't have that problem.
You have an American passport. But yeah, we're heading to San Juan's, and we're going to Roche Harbor, Shaw Island, Lopez Island, Orcas Island, Sucia. We got a good schedule ahead of us. We're going to be some great videoing. Some great, maybe a little bit of living off the land with crabs and prawns and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but this is what I do. We plan out our schedule. Again, it's not set in stone. We plan out our schedule, and I kind of plan out the food just to help with provisioning. But again, it's up in the air because some days you don't feel like cooking. I am glad that Blaine's mom is coming on board because she makes a kick-ass gumbo from Louisiana. So we're going to have some gumbo.
Yeah.
So. And
it's we've gotten kind of lucky here. It looks like the weather might finally be turning to summer here.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a pretty miserable and long winter. Lots of rain, lots of snow. And up until last week, it was crappy. And we've got a whole week of sun here. Hopefully this holds out for us and we get a couple of months worth.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time coming this year.
You know, the cool thing about having sun is it inspires you to work unless it's too hot. There's this balance. If it gets really too hot, then you kind of want to siesta in the afternoon.
It was borderline today.
It was borderline today. If not, you just crack a cider and sit in the hammock and veg for about half an hour before it cools off a little bit. And then you just like work, which is great.
Yeah. You get a lot done when you've got sun until 10 o'clock at night almost. Mm-hmm. It definitely makes motivation, keep a little longer.
Yeah, but we're looking forward to heading out. We got lots. That's 3 weeks of cruising and 3 weeks of videoing, and I can't wait. We're going to show you guys some cool stuff and do some cool things. I promise. Yeah. But if you want to see anything or ask any questions, just check your questions below like Katya and Christian did. We're pretty good at answering them, and we'll kind of refer to them. If not, we kind of go into the ones we've got here. So this live lasts about 30 minutes because then yeah, I got about 30 minutes of attention, and Blaine's got to get back to welding.
I do. I have a whole nother rail to put on.
Yeah. So YouTube, why did we do this? We get asked it all the time. It's like, why are you putting your whole life on YouTube?
Because Janice wanted to.
So I don't know if I've totally put it out there. I'm a police officer. It's been a very rough week in Saanich. And I don't know if you've seen the news, but there was a bank robbery last week, and 6 of my brothers were shot. They all lived. 3 of them were from Saanich, which is a department that I work for, and it's a small department. It's about 170 officers. You know everybody. So that really hit home. I haven't been at work because I got diagnosed with PTSD, which is the whole reason we live on a boat. And being that I moved on to a boat and I'm not working, I kind of lost my purpose, I guess you would say. I got bored and lost my purpose of helping people. So my friend Rosie, on Rough Life, we were out for coffee once, and she mentioned, hey, this is a channel I watch, and why don't, this is kind of cool, right? And so I started watching sailing channels and wondering, like, well, there's not very many motorboat channels or boat refit channels. It's kind of like what we do, and it seems that people enjoy watching boat refits and this lifestyle and the stupid, crazy things we get ourselves into, and
the stupid, crazy decisions we make.
Yeah. So I started doing YouTube, and the cool thing about it is it gives me that sense of purpose again, which I was kind of lost and floating. But with everything that's been going on this week, I'm kind of melancholy about it. Not melancholy, it's not the right word. I'm sad. I was sad, scared, happy all at the same time. Happy that I wasn't there, guilty that I should have been there. I don't know. Anyways, it's been a rough week, and making videos has helped me get through it. And it's a healing process, making YouTube videos. And I think it brings Blaine and I a little bit closer doing it. And it's kind of fun to document everything.
Yeah. Even we, after Janice edits the footage, she's editing it, so she knows exactly how the whole thing goes, but I don't edit it. So I actually enjoy watching it after she's edited it, because it's even amusing for me. I like seeing things that we've done and how she's edited it, and it's pretty neat.
And what's really cool is, while the channel's building, is we're starting to get recognized, which was really weird. So we were in Montague Harbor a couple of weeks. It is a little bit awkward, but not really.
It's a weird feeling.
It is weird. So we were in Montague Harbor, and is his name Gunner?
Gunner, yeah.
Gunner off Duck and A, which is the coolest boat. It's this diesel duck boat.
Not to mention, it's a pretty neat name for a Canadian.
Yeah, it's a diesel duck, and it's called Duck and A. Duck and A. It's awesome. But we anchored, and suddenly this dinghy's coming over. He's like, I want to meet the famous YouTubers. And it was like, both Blaine are like, where? Huh? Anyways, he came on board, and we had beers and drinks, and then him and his wife, they came out to the pub with us, and so much fun. But it's really interesting, though, because you go to tell stories, and because you tell everything on YouTube, they've already heard them.
They have.
Which is, it's like, oh, I can't tell you that story because you've already heard it. Oh, he's like, oh, I know, this is what happened. And I'm like, okay. And
it's just the weirdest times too. Like, you'll have people going by on a tender or something, and you'll be working on the aft deck, and they'll pass by, we watch your channel.
Yeah, it's really cool, but we really appreciate it. And if you do see us, please wave or stop and say hi. We usually have some bevies and something on board, and yeah, come on board. We may be absolute mess, which is what we are usually.
No, not maybe.
Okay, our boat will be an absolute disaster, but we still cruise on it, and we invite people on board, and yeah, what we put out on YouTube is pretty much real. That's how it goes.
Yeah. If anything, I'd say on YouTube, the boat is cleaner than what it is in real life.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. So with the YouTube, we also launched Patreon, and people are always like, I put in there what Patreon is. And Patreon is kind of like what do you call it? Group funding? Crowdfunding app. And it's kind of like, if you like the channel or the creator, which people call ourselves, I'm not quite there yet. If you like the creator, you kind of sponsor us, and all the money we get from Patreon goes into the boat refit. So your support if you enjoy our videos, it's kind of like going to the movies or paying for Netflix or something. If you enjoy the videos, chuck us a couple bucks, and it goes into helping us refit
And
Tangaroa.
we hadn't even really thought about it. This was broached to us by people who watch the videos about setting up a Patreon. So it was just,
and it was kind of weird asking for money for the first bit.
It's a bit odd. Yeah. Not odd, awkward.
But we do give lots back. Like
funny.
if you do on Patreon, we have lots of support. Like people get hoodies and t-shirts and stuff like that. So that's what Patreon is. That's why you see me sometimes say, hey, join us on Patreon. You also get access to our videos early. Yeah. And we give personal, hey, welcome. So glad you're here, blah, blah, blah. And probably opportunities to come on board sometime.
Oh, I'm sure at some point.
Yeah. So what else we should talk about? Let's see. We don't have very many people live because I screwed up all this whole live scheduling and everything.
It wasn't the the smoothest of scheduling.
No, it wasn't the best. So, do you have anything you want to chat about?
No, Janice actually looked at me last night. She's like, "Oh my God, we forgot the live," and I'm like, "That's tomorrow."
I'm pretty sure I had it scheduled for yesterday. I don't know. I'm sorry, everybody. We're gonna try to do better. It's hard in the summer because we are seriously, like, as soon as we finish this live, we are going back to welding and caulking, and caulking. I never say that word right. Yeah, I know. And anyways, we're going right back to work, and I have to cook dinner because it is 20 after 6 here. But there's lots to do. Again, parents are coming on board on Wednesday evening. We're so excited. If you don't have any questions or anything, we're going to shut this down, and Blaine's going to get back to welding.
You have to get back to welding.
Which is the benefit of having an aluminum boat, I have to say. It is so much easier to fix holes.
Bzz,
bzz, bzz, bzz, bzz. And the fact that our solar, which we are going to do a video on our whole solar system, is running the welder.
Yeah. And we're upgrading our solar as well.
Yeah, but we appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching the adventures on Onboard Tangaroa. Head over to Facebook because that's usually where I put pictures of what we're actually doing now, because again, the YouTube videos are about a month and a half behind. So guys, love your faces. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Subscribe, share.
Katya and Christian, give us a shout and we'll arrange something.
Yeah. crew@onboardtangaroa.com. I will write it right now. At onboardtangaroa.com, and you can go to onboardtangaroa.com, which is our website, and there's lots of cool information in there also with regards to the boat and what it's about and what type of boat and all that stuff. You know, that stuff that people do.
Stuff and things.
Okay, guys. Love ya.
Bye, guys.
Thanks. Back to welding. Okay, let's do it.